Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all are doing good. So let us start the session. So yesterday we have seen how we can create a partition tables, a different variety of partition tables. We have seen how we can create it. That also we have seen, right? So today we're going to be focusing on nested fields. We will be focusing on these concepts, guys. Nested fields and repeated fields in BigQuery. So what is this nested field? What is this repeated field? Let us try to understand. Okay. So nested field is like this one. For example, okay, think like this. Let me go here. Okay, think like this. You have customer details. Okay, you have a one customer details. Assume that customer ID, customer name. So you have a customer ID, customer name, and the contact information. Contact instead of, for example, email, I would say, for example, like you can see contact information. In the contact information, I can have email. I can also have phone number, right? See, usually I can actually store email and phone number in another table, or I can directly store email and phone number here. Usually what the in OLTP systems they will be doing is that they will be actually storing this contact information of the customer in another table, because OLTPs are mainly designed to insert the data or modify the data. So for insertion purpose, whenever you wanted to speed up the insertion, they will be having a more number of tables. That is what they call as a normalization. Normalization is a concept of increasing the number of tables so that redundancy will be there, so that the insertion speed will be very high. Updation or insertion or modification of the data will be very high. Okay, but in the BigQuery, what we are trying to do, our main aim is not to insert the data. Our main aim is to analyze the data, read the data. To read the data, we don't need to have a different tables. I can have all the data in one table itself. Okay, suppose you want to create a table to store the customer information like customer ID, name, email, and phone number. So you can actually store it in one table. And also, if you wanted to store their order information, so you can also think like, so for example, you're in OLTP. So this customer details and order details will be separate. Like customer table will be there, orders table will be there. So for the customer ID, and you will be having this many orders he has done. That order ID will be there in that particular table, order date and total amount. Right, right. So, but still, I can directly store that data also here, like order history. Like order history, here I can store order ID, order date, total amount, total amount. So usually for storing the contact information or for storing the order history in the OLTP, we will be actually storing it in a different variety of tables. You go and look at this is your what I would say, BigQuery or a data warehouse. If you tell that this is your data warehouse, in OLTP, this is how it looks like. This is how 3 tables will be there. Okay, 3 tables will be there. So first table will be having customer details. Second table will be having customer information. Third table will be having order details. Okay, so this is how the different tables will be there in the OLTP. But I don't want it to have it because my performance will be very less when I have a different tables, because I have to do the joins. So when I do the joining is a very costly operation which I don't want it to do it. Which I don't want it to do it. For that purpose, in my database, what I will be doing is that I will be trying to create as a only single table. Create as a only single table. This is one idea. This is how people will be doing. This is one idea. Okay. One more concept is that if you wanted to store hierarchical data, sir, if you wanted to store hierarchical data, so BigQuery supports nested fields. So there are two ways. So this is one reason. The reason one is this one. Reason two is that if you wanted to store hierarchical data, you can actually go for this kind of a nested fields, hierarchical data. Hierarchical. If you wanted to structure your data as hierarchically. Okay, if you wanted to store your data hierarchically, then you can also go for this nested and repeated fields. Okay, so let us see how we can achieve it. The concept is this one. If you wanted to store the hierarchical data, sir, I wanted to store my hierarchical data like this. You see here, for example, the customer information. You see here, the customer information I wanted to store email as well as phone number. Nested fields. Nested fields. You see, it is like a nest. Total amount, order date, order ID. This is also like a nest, right? So these are the main columns. Okay, these are the main columns. You can see this is a one column, this is one more column, and this is one more column. So this is like a nested fields. Okay, fields have its own nests again. So that's what it is, kind of a nested field, you can think of like it. Okay. So this particular customer information is having subfields. That is what we call as a nested fields. That is what we usually call as a hierarchical data. Okay. So this particular customer information has its own kind of information, and you can also think email. For example, you can also have a one more hierarchical also. BigQuery supports many hierarchies until 22 or something. So BigQuery actually supports that many hierarchies, I believe. Yeah, fields of nested it will support. 15 levels of nested fields it will support. That means you can go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 15 levels of hierarchies it will support. So that's how it is. Okay, so let us try to create how we can create a nested fields in BigQuery. Same for the same example, let us try to create it. For the same example, this one, customer ID, customer name, customer information. Let us try to create some hierarchical data. Let us try to insert the data, and how we are going to access it and how it will be stored. All of those things, let us try to see. Okay. Create table. Okay, let us try to create a table. Create. Okay, create table. The table I wanted to create a table here. Okay, until this one only. Okay, there are many tables. Event table 1, event table 2. Why these events are many? Okay, let me delete it, guys. It was very confusing. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me delete it. I don't want this many tables to be here. Yesterday we might have created. Right, so I'm going to create a table. That's project ID is GCP. Data set is landing. I wanted to create the table name is customer. Okay, we have already the customer. Okay, customer. Okay, let me just say customer nested table. Okay, customer nested table. This is an example for the nested, so I wanted to mention it like this. Okay, so I wanted to mention customer ID. Okay, customer ID. The customer ID I wanted to take as int 64. Okay, again customer name string. Here it comes. The contact information. So for the contact information, what is the data type that you are going to take it? So for the customer information, because it is a nested field, nested fields are how we are going to mention it, because we have to mention if I say it is a string or integer, it is going to be a common column. Now anyone tell me guys how I can inform BigQuery that it is a nested field? Okay, record. Is it taking it record? Is it taking it, sir? Sorry. Struct. Correct, correct. So that's what we have to use the struct, sir. For nested fields, we are going to achieve it with the help of struct. Okay, so I'm going to use here also struct. Okay, struct. Inside the struct, I have a multiple columns, right? So I am going to mention it like this. My first column is email. That email is a string. Likewise, sorry, comma is missed. And we have a phone number. Sorry. The phone number is again, I wanted to mention as a string. Okay, so this is how we are going to achieve it. Struct can be achieved using, the nested fields can be achieved using the struct. Okay, nested fields can be achieved using the struct. Someone has told record also, that is also correct, but let us wait. I will tell you how the record helps. Okay, we can actually create a record also, but when you are using in the editor, you can't use the record. Record will not be a data type. Record is actually a data type only, but it will not be read by the editor. Editor does not know what is record. But when you are actually creating a table using the console, then you can actually go for the record. Okay, so that time I will tell you, but don't confuse whoever have told that record, right? That is also correct only, but that cannot be used in the editor. Now, so we have mentioned column 1, column 2, column 3 has a struct columns or nested column. And one more thing is, I would just say usually I just say in this one I have like 2 columns are there. Yeah, okay. Greater than, I would just say from here onwards I have 2 columns I'm mentioning. All of those are comes under contact information. Okay. Yeah. Now I have a order history. Now I want you guys to use your brain and tell me, do you think one guy will only have one order? Do you think one guy will only place one order? No. Sir, I wanted to mention, it is for sure it is a struct I will be mentioning. The same thing I will also mentioning. For sure it is a nested fields. Okay, I will be having a nested fields like, I would say order ID. Okay, order ID, comma, order date, is date, total amount. Total amount I'm going to take it as a float 64. Okay, this is perfect. But I want you guys to think now and tell me. Think now and tell me, sir, if I place one order, okay, sir, you have mentioned the struct. Inside the struct, I'll be having order details. What if I place one more order? What if I place one more order? Now you tell me, think like this. Okay, for example, assume this guy has done like this. Okay, there is one guy, and his name is contact. First, we have to mention the order ID. Customer ID is this one, and the name is Ravi. Ravi. And contact information, you will be storing two details. Okay, that is like email. So some email will be there, and likewise some phone number will also be there. Some 999, some phone number will also be there. And after that, sir, he has placed order 101, and the order ID is this one. Order date is some 2023. Some date will be mentioned, and total amount is 20,000. Okay, so this is one. What if this guy has placed one more order? So that order will come here, same order ID, same Ravi, same these details. Let us take email as a @gmail.com, ravi@gmail.com. So same phone number I have to mention, and here the order ID will change. These these three details will change. Okay, and if this guy have placed one more order, same order. Now tell me, sir, what is the problem here? See, yes, correct. This is also I will do it. Guys, are you following me? Some 4,000. Okay, what is the problem here is that you see, look at this data. Look at this data. What is the problem with this data, guys? Tell me. What is the problem with this data? This data is getting repeated. Now it is just one or two columns fine for me. But tomorrow it can be a number of columns that you are going to repeat it very heavily. And so that the data storage is very high. See, you are not just storing the integer data, you are storing the email also. Email may be having some more than 15 letters, 15 characters will be having. Every time, if this guy has placed some 15 to 20 orders, every time that ID, Ravi name can be have a full name, everything, and the email ID and this phone number will be getting repeated all the time, so that the data storage is increasing. And now, which I don't want it to do that. Which I don't want it to do that, sir. So that's where we have in BigQuery, we have a concept of repeated fields. What we call, sir? Repeated fields. So this repeated fields, whatever I was telling, this is called as a repeated fields, sir. I don't want it to go for this thing. I wanted to avoid it. What I wanted to do it, sir, I would just say remove this entire thing. So whenever I say this one, it will be like a one entire record. So earlier, if I do, so this is one record, this is, sorry, where is this option? This is one row, this is second row, this is third row. But when I use the repeated fields, what will happen is that it will become entirely one row itself. This will become entirely one row, and this is the only one row, and this particular data will be, whatever this data will be, attaching to these three sets. So that's how you are going to manage it. So this is called as a repeated, fixing the repeated fields. Okay, this is a concept of repeated fields. I don't want it to repeat the data. I don't want it to create a duplicacy of the data. I don't want it to increase the storage. So for that purpose, you are going to use the repeated field. Now tell me, sir, if you guys have any prior knowledge, how we are going to achieve the repeated fields in the Google BigQuery Cloud Editor or anywhere. If you want it, correct, perfect, perfect. Any other one? Any other thing? Some people may be having some other things also. Can anyone tell me how do you achieve it, guys? Anyone here? I got the answer, but I just want you guys to speak up. If you wanted to achieve, sir, if you wanted to achieve the repeated fields, how you are going to achieve it? Struct is already done. See, struct is for the nested fields. It's already done. Ah, no, 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 not like that. Not like that. So usually this is kind of an array kind of a data. This comes under array kind of a data. So for that purpose, the data is repeated. So you can actually use for repeated fields, you can actually use array. Okay, you can actually use array. Okay, so I'm gonna use the data type of array here, and you see here array, and you can just mention here, and you can just mention it here. Okay, so this is how it is, sir. So what I am trying to say now, so order history, one customer may can have a many order history. So you will be seeing in action when I insert the data, right? You will be seeing in action. Okay, okay, sir, this is what you have told. You will understand. But now for creating table, two things I have told you here. One is nested fields. This is struct is to nested fields, and array is to store the repeated data. Okay. Now let me run it. Let me run it. Let me run it. Okay, now we have created a table. Let me go to the table and show you. See here, guys. So someone earlier was telling, sir, what was the data type that we are using for the nested fields? They actually told it is record, correct. Actually data type is record. Okay, you can see contact information, email and phone number. Record is the data type. Those people who have told record is correct only. But when you are actually creating the table from the editor, you can't use the record. The record will not be read by the code editor. So those who have told repeated for the mode, because it is a repeated field. So this order history is become a repeated field. Now you will be able to understand it like this. So record is for the nested fields, repeated is for the repeated fields. Okay, this is how it is. So if you wanted to understand it, I'm going to mention it here also, like comma or record. You have to understand this point, guys. Don't use instead of structures, I wanted to use record. Don't use like that. It will not understand what is record and all. Okay. So don't use like that, sir. I wanted to do it like this. Don't use like that because it will not understand it. Okay. So that's how it is. Okay. But for your understanding purpose, nested fields in the editor, it was mentioned as record. Repeated fields is repeated, mode is repeated. Okay, so this is how you see here, sir. Instead of storing the data in three different tables, I am storing the data here itself. It reduces the data redundancy. First thing. One more thing is that you need not to go to other table for the information. Read performance is very high. The third thing is that you don't need to use the joining, so the performance of the nested fields is very good. Okay, the performance of the nested fields is very good. If there is a chance of using the nested fields, go for it. Okay, so that is what it is. Here we have a customer information which is nested structure and which includes the email and phone number. And we have a order history. It is an array of nested fields. It is an array of nested fields, nested structure, array of nested structure that includes order ID, order date, total amount. Now let us try to insert the data, sir. So far, so good. Let us try to insert the data. Okay, so let me try to insert the data here. Okay, sir, how we are going to insert it? Now you have to see insert into the table name is this one. I'm gonna just copy this entire string. Okay, and we're gonna be mentioning values. Okay, now we have to insert it. Now we have to insert it, sir. Okay, now I am going to insert it. Look at here. First I will be having, so let me keep my this nested field somewhere here so that it will be easy for me to put it on the right. Okay, so that I can able to see the data types and all. Okay, now first customer ID integer, that's fine, sir. And I'm gonna say John Doe. Okay, John Doe. And after that I have a contact information, email and phone number. Okay, I'm going to mention in the form of a list, and I'm going to just say John Doe @gmail. Okay, it's supposed to be a string, comma. Phone number is, you can just mention any phone number, 123 123 123. Okay, and comma. One more is order history. Order history is, we can mention order ID is 101. Order date you can mention like 2023 hyphen 9 hyphen 09 hyphen 05, comma, the order amount, total amount, right? So some like 3000. Okay, so now it is good. So let me click on select this thing. So value has a struct type new. Now you see here, this is the reason I have trying to insert the data, because while inserting the data also you have to follow. So value has a struct integer, a string and integer, which cannot be inserted into a column order history, which is the array. Okay, so when you wanted to insert it, so you can see here, I have to mention this struct here, this is struct here, and here also this is also struct, right? So you can also mention here. Okay, so now when I should do it like this, okay, so this is how, something wrong. Okay, it's a the second was in the array kind of a data, right? So something like list kind of a data, so we have to mention list. Perfect. I think if I select it, some problem, let me see. Struct of list. No, I did not get your point. No. Before that only, because it's a array kind of a data. I can have this one array. I can have this one array. If tomorrow, if I wanted to add, I will just say comma and one more array. Yeah. So I think this is good. struct 101 date and integer. Do you mention it is a float or something? So I will mention float also. Okay, first thing what I will do is that I will take this into a next query because all the time it is making me a problem. Okay, so somewhere here it is a problem. Let me try to. Oh, do I have? No, no, no. That bracket means array only, right? And this bracket means array only. Just thinking like
Order
what?
ID is string, sir. Order ID is string, it is telling in the error.
Okay, you are saying that this. Okay, you are saying. No, it will not work. I know. Okay. 1 minute. Value has a type array struct. And value has a type array struct and which cannot be inserted into a column order history, which has a type array um, struct order id string. Order id string. Guys, why you are not looking at it here? See, it is saying that order id is string. So this is what you have to look at. See, focusing on the complex solutions, you just focus on this problem. Okay, this is right. Again, let me look at it. No, 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 no. Wait a minute. Value type. Mhm, mhm, mhm. 1 minute. This is perfect.
Also, date, I think you need to put it in string.
Date also we have put it in string already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wait a minute. I'm just thinking why it's not working out. Yeah, I got your point. You see, when I mention this one, that's how you are going to mention it. So we never use array. We never use like that. But let's try it out. You are saying it right. This one, right? You're saying this is what you're saying, right? All right. All right. No, it will not work. Array we will don't use it here. Okay. We never use array in while you're inserting. Something wrong. Value has a type. Let me see how I was inserting. Okay. See here I was inserting properly here. Okay. Array and string only. It was the same thing. And I don't see any problem here. I don't see any problem.
So the date field, it is taking it as a string, sir. We have defined it in the schema as a date, but
Sorry,
second
sorry.
second one. Date field, right? Date field, in the schema we have defined it as a date, but
This one, this
in
is
the
the
value
problem.
it is taking it.
I don't think we are missing anything, but something is wrong. Let me just send. Oh, this is working. Just wanted to know if I mention date, it is working. It's not taking this as a date. I'm not sure why it is not taking this as a date. Okay, so that's what the problem is. Okay, so whenever we wanted to insert the date, it's supposed to be not like this. Okay, but it should be 1 minute. Let me actually see the syntax. It's not considering this as a date. That's the problem.
Yeah, instead of hard coding value, you can use some current date, some method which will return the date. It will
The
be
format is correct. 2023 hyphen month hyphen date. It's perfect. No, I just mentioned if I mention date, it is working. Okay, that's what I am not sure. Like I haven't used like this earlier. Did I use the date functions? There, I might not have used it. Here, I might have used it, but I never mentioned date. But this is maybe in the recent update they might have done it or something. So I'm just thinking. Okay, but usually double quote. Okay, let's try it out. Double quote. No, no, no. By default, default date format in BigQuery is okay. In default date format in BigQuery is here. Here comes. Okay, here comes. That's what we have mentioned, na? It's a date field is different, right? Timestamp is for timestamp. You see here, it's a timestamp term. Okay, it's a date. No, 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 no. Date is date. See, date is date always. Okay. See, for example, I create a table. Uh, create table. Okay. Try it out. Usually it will not be like that. Date is date. Timestamp is timestamp. Both are different. And if you wanted to create some date table, okay. So you mentioned date is date. Okay. You mentioned date is date, and you wanted to insert the data here. We'll understand date is equals to 2023 8 5. Okay, that's where it is expecting this thing. It's a date, right? It's not a date. 1 minute. What's the problem here? We have mentioned it's a date. Okay, here it is perfect. No, something wrong. It's a recent update, it seems. So while we are inserting the data, it is saying that no. See, date is different, timestamp is different, guys. I'm telling you, date is different, timestamp is. See, if I wanted to get the date from the timestamp, I'll just use date function. Okay. If I wanted to get only this particular format of this data, I will use the data function to get the only the date format. I don't want it time format. So for that purpose, they will be using. And here it is some fishy. Okay, if I use date, it's working. I say that it is a date, and if I use here date, it's not working. Syntax error expected. What is this? Oh yeah, yes. If I remove it, it should work. It should work. Yeah, it will work. See, that's what I know that it will work. It is not an update. You can also see I'll create a table, and there is a one data. You can also see table. Then if you go here, we have inserted. So it is C. So it will work. I'm not sure why it is not working. You can see here date type also date only. So I'm not sure why it is not working for this particular what I would say nested fields. But anyway, it's a new learning for me as well. So whenever you wanted to mention the date fields, you have to mention date here like this. Okay. So this is how we can mention the struct field. And so for example, this guy has done one more order. How do you mention it? So the same struct you will be using, and you say that this order ID can be 102, and the date can be something like different, and this can be like something 5000. Okay, so that is how it is. And you can also mention one more ID as well. So the same thing, I will take it and try to update it. Okay, here Ramana, phone number is 4103 10 2. Okay, okay, I have to close it. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem actually. Somewhere something is wrong. This is bracket is fine. This is fine. Yeah, closing bracket is missed. Yeah. Okay. So we have two records I have inserted, and one of this record is just having struct, and it is having a list kind of a data array kind of a data here. Okay, and likewise here only this guy has done only one particular order. For him I have mentioned it here. Let me run it. Okay, it has ran. You can see here now the table is this one, and we have two records. Now you see the here. See here. Now see, if I mention one more order is also, it will not be duplicated. You see one John Doe trade contact information dot phone number, order history, dot order ID, total amount. Okay, this is how it will be stored. Okay, first thing is that we have stored nested fields. Second thing is that we have removed the repetition. Okay, so this is what we have achieved. But now, sir, the customer wanted to know. So the question is here, if I wanted to retrieve, how to query this data? How to query the nested tables. Okay, how to query this nested tables. If you wanted to query this nested tables, you have to follow certain rules. Okay, so assume that if I wanted to retrieve the customer names and their email addresses, retrieve customer names and their email address. I want you guys to assist me here. Okay, I want you guys to assist me. First, I will do is that I wanted to select. Now tell me, sir, can you guys assist me? Anyone? Raise your hand if anyone wanted to tell me the answer. No one wanted to tell me how we can retrieve the customer names and names from this particular nested table. We have created this customer table, right? I wanted to get it from this one. Can you guys, anyone, raise your hand? No one? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so I wanted to get the customer email, customer name, right? So customer name is, I'm going to go and write it. I'm going to go and write it here. I'm going to go and write it here. For example, if I wanted to get the customer name, the column name is, I believe, let me open the table here. Let me open the table here. See, there is also one more shortcut you can also do, guys. When you open the schema here, when you have the table here, and you click on here, and you wanted which column, sir? Customer name, right? So click on this customer name. Automatically, it's supposed to come here. It is coming here. Okay, that's fine. Move to the left pan. Okay. I wouldn't have closed it. Yeah, anyway, no problem. Formatted. See, customer name came. After that, I wanted to get the customer email. Click on this customer email. Yeah, again, it is coming in next one. I don't know why. I wanted to get it here. Okay, no problem. It's taking it in one more. But anyway, if you wanted to get the customer, email, this is how you have to get it. Content info dot email. Then only you will be able to get the email, guys. Otherwise, you don't get it. So if you directly get just mention email, right, it will not be read properly. Okay, you can't read the query properly. Okay, so when you wanted to mention, you will only be mentioning like this. Okay, then only you will be able to get the customer name and contact information like email. So this is how, if you wanted to get the email from the customer information which is a nested, you have to use it properly, otherwise you will not be able to get it. So that's what I want. I have mentioned it here. So I will copy this, the same thing, and I'll go here and mention it. Okay, so this is one thing. And I wanted to get the total information. Now this is a nested field, so it become easy. It is a nested field, it become easy. Now the one more question is, sir, I wanted to retrieve the customer names and the total order amounts. Perfect. Total order amounts we have to get it. This is actually a bit difficult. Okay, so we have to get it total order amounts. Can anyone wanted to try this out? Tell me. Can anyone wanted to tell me the answer for this one? Retrieve the customer names and the total order amounts. Okay, select customer. Let us go one by one. Okay, customer name. I would just say copy here. Okay, I do not know why it is not getting copy. Customer name, comma, sum of okay, order here. Okay, let's try it out. That's how we have to learn it, right? So then, okay, what is happening? Total amount. Okay, from I'm going to copy this one from here. Okay, yeah, Z Z. Okay, group by customer name. You can see the error. I want you to see it. The error I want you to see it. See, can't access the field total amount on a value with the type array struct order ID. So you can't access an array directly like this. Array of field like this. Okay. Anyone wanted to try it out? Okay, because it actually opens a whole new way of doing it. This is not how we are going to do it. Okay, it will not give you the answer, guys, because you whenever it is, so whenever it is already array, and if you wanted to get, or if you wanted to you wanted to do things. One is sum, and one more is you wanted to get that particular field from an entirely this particular table. Okay, the table is this customers table. You have to get it. Yes. For that purpose, what we are going to do is that first I will try to get select. If you wanted to get the total order amount, you have to get it like this. So the amount, total amount from which table, sir? The table is same thing. Okay, the table is same thing, but you have to unnest it. Okay, unnest it. Unnest the which columns are order history columns are unnest the order history column, and you're gonna be calling that as some. You can call it as some order, and use that order here order dot total amount. That's where you are going to get it like this first thing. Okay, that's where you say that this is a array. Okay, I think this is perfect. What was an error? Okay, as total amount. Wait a minute, the bracket is proper. This bracket is also proper. Okay, you need to do sum, right? So I forgot that. The sum, array sum we can do. Okay, and this is how it is. Array sum is not defined it properly. Array sum, okay, let's just do one sum. Let's not worry about array sum. Okay. Unexpected keyword. I'm not sure why it's not working. Selecting the order amount. Okay. Order, I have defined it. Order dot total amount, that's perfectly fine. Unnesting the order history as order. That's also perfect. There is something wrong. Can you guys tell me what is wrong here? It is saying that order. Order, I have defined it here. I'm using it here. That's perfectly fine because this is what problems with the nested fields. So whenever you wanted to access it or you wanted to do some kind of aggregation on top of this nested fields, so you have to be little careful. Of course, this is the advanced concept. They have, I mean, it will be easy if you actually follow it. It will be easy. Okay, let me try it out. Let me try it out. Structure. Format it will be easy for me to check it like this. Select the customer name. Okay, let us just try to access this particular total amount. Later we will worry about it. So let us try to get the total amount first. If I wanted to get the total amount from this table, total amount will not be recognized because it comes under order history. Okay, order history dot this one. Okay, cannot access a field again because we cannot accessing a field called array. So for accessing a field of array, we have to mention, we have to unnest it. That's what I was doing it. Okay, so whenever you wanted to get this thing, I will be doing select of. That's what I was doing, right? So you cannot use directly unnest without select statement, right? Unnest, unnest of order history. As I would guess it's still order history. Okay, I think this is supposed to be good. Expected as unnest references. Yeah, this will work, right? So let's see. You can scalar subquery produce more than one element. Not sure why it is throwing this error. Okay, let me try this thing. Last earlier one. No, and this is also not working. The earlier one also not working. It's supposed to work, but if I mention here distinct, it will work, I believe so, because it's producing more than one record. Subquery producing more than one element. Customer name and okay, let me just remove this thing and try it out. How it is actually getting the data. Scalar subquery is producing more than one element. That's fine. I'm not sure why it is. If it is producing more than one element, we have to limit it. We can limit it to one, but that's not how it works, right? That's not how it works. If I mention customer name, no, but this is wrong. because I have here 5,000 which is missed. Okay, let me look at it here. How I might have. This is the same thing. Select a city from this thing and unnest as the address. Usually we don't need
I
to do
think
that, but
the you think unnecessary should come after the main table?
no. Usually for accessing only one thing we can do that, but all the time it's not required. But let's try it out.
Like, it's a scalar. What I'm saying, can we move, like, rather than putting in a subquery, can we move unnest order history at the end of the query? At the end of the query?
Here you mean to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You want me to take this entire thing?
No. First unnest should come here at the end of the query. Yeah, under unnest,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, if you remove the limit, and then I'm not sure you need select there. I don't know. Yeah, probably remove the bracket. I'm wondering whether it's going to work. I don't know. Can we try?
No, it's not working, right?
It's not working. Okay. I think, yeah, it's confused now. How? I don't know.
Okay.
Something. It
Yeah.
should.
I think it
Yeah.
should.
Can we unnest this?
Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
is working. Yes. Perfect. I think here also they mentioned same thing here, comma. That's what I just got to know. Okay. So now if you wanted to mention sum, yeah, sum of it grew by customer name. Okay, perfect. So this is how if you wanted to retrieve the customer names and the total order amount. So this is how we have to get it. Okay, so I forgot this one. So unnesting I might have given here, but I should have looked at it here. See, unnest will be coming after the table name, comma, and we are going to mention the unnest. And we can give alias properly. I have given here like order. You can give order like this, and you can use this order here. Something wrong?
The thing order got it in the wrong place, right?
No.
Oh.
Order dot is
No,
perfectly
order
fine.
may be a keyword, right? It's maybe a keyword.
Okay, OD.
OD.
Yes. Okay. So this is how if you wanted to retrieve the customer names, this is important, guys. So creating a table of nested fields is not that complex, but retrieving the data, doing aggregations on top of it is it's a bit difficult. But practicing it will actually give you idea. Okay. So you can see here I'm pasting the same thing. You can actually try it out later. Okay. So if you wanted to retrieve the customer names and their email addresses, this is how you have to do it. And if you wanted to retrieve there, and this is for the nested fields, and this is for the nested and repeated fields. While you are using it for the aggregation, you can actually unnest it and you can use it. Okay, so this is a concept of that one. And one more thing, sir, I wanted to tell you. For example, uh, I have this data in the form of a CSV file. Assume that I have this data in the form of a CSV file, or sorry, JSON file. Okay, because usually we don't get the data like this. I manually inserted the data for your understanding so that this is how you can able to do it. But tomorrow you will not be doing it like this. Create or replace everything. then it will be not a problem. Yeah. So tomorrow what you will get is that you will be getting the data in the form of a JSON file. Right. I'm going to create some JSON file for you. Okay. So give me this one. Let me click on new file. I would just say customer.json. Okay. Newly delimited JSON file. I'm trying to create it. And it is a JSON. I'm going to insert the data like this. I have the data sample data already. You see here, same thing. Customer ID, all the things are there. All the details are also I have here. So customer 1, customer 2. Customer 1 is having order history of 2 records. Customer 2 is having only the order history of this one. You can try. I want you guys to do is that. So let us try to load this data here. Okay, let us try to load this data here. How do we do that? Let us try to see. So this is something there. So we are going to try it out. If we have a JSON sample file, how to load to BigQuery is question. You can load it from console, you can load it from Cloud Shell, anywhere, right? So let me go to console. You can easily do it from the console. That's actually easy. I will go to the Cloud Shell because it's a bit difficult. You have to provide a schema properly. Console, you have already the everything. You can directly mention record and get the subfields, and you can able to do it. I will tell you from Cloud Shell. Meanwhile, I can also tell you from Cloud here also. You can click on this one, create table. You can select the file where it is. It is on my desktop and it is customer.json file. So it's a JSON file. It is a JSON newly delimited. You can see automatically it is selected. This table name is customer JSON. The table name is customer JSON, and you can provide this. You have to provide the schema properly. Okay, to provide the schema properly, the first one is customer name, the customer ID, customer name, and what was that next third thing? Contact information, right? Contact information. So contact information. So while the contact information is a not a column, it is a struct. So you can't just select a struct here. You don't get a data type of struct here. That's where you have to select a record. Now you will get a subfield that is email and phone number, right? Yes. And the next, now it is a email string, phone string. That's fine. Now we do not have any field. Now I'm going to the fourth column. What is my fourth column? I forgot, guys. Order history, right? Order history. Now tell me. So it is a struct. So I will go for the record. Now tell me, sir, I have only got this one. Okay, I can mention order ID. Sorry. Sorry. Correct, correct. That's what for that one only I'm asking you. JSON. We have to mention JSON. No, no, no. JSON is not a format. No. See, if you remember, there was one more keyword, one more mode I have told you. Okay, when you wanted to make it repeated data, you have to go to the mode repeated. So you have to change it here like this. So now it is just a record is nothing but a struct. It is record plus repeated means nested plus repeated fields we are accessing. So this is how you can just select it. You have selected all the things. You can click on create table. Too many errors, giving up one error. Please look into the errors. Let's see. I'm not sure why it has mentioned that many records. There were no bad records. Let me look at it. Maybe somewhere here I might have. Okay, there were no things. Number of records allowed. Okay. Unknown values. Okay, let me look at the data. It's column names are correct, right? Customer ID, customer name, contact information, email, and order history, order ID, order date, total amount. So I'm gonna give you this as a exercise for you guys. So I think there is something I might have missed it. I want you guys to look at it. One thing is that column names are correct or not, and that schema we have mentioned order ID is a integer date. Oh, you can look at it here. That's what somewhere there will be some schema problems will be there. Order ID is an integer, right? So that's what those kind of things we might have to fix it. Okay, it's a float, that's fine, and string is string, and one is customer ID is integer, string customer name, record string. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Again, there's some error. Again, same thing. While reading the data, error message JSON processing encountered too many errors, giving up rows 1, row 1, error 1, maximum bad is 0, error percentage is 0, rows 1, errors 1, row 1, error 1. Okay, let me remove this thing. Let me remove this thing. Okay, let me remove this thing. Could be a reason. Now, when you mention the list kind of a data only, it will be taking it. Okay. I think it is okay. Let me just keep it. It's fine. Okay, let us stop it here. It's already 8:46. I don't want it to take it further more time. Let us see, guys. This one we will see it later. So somewhere we might have missing something, some schema or something. So we will try to fix it. Okay. Yeah. Anyone have any questions? Yes. Yes, I'm gonna do it here. You have all the information also, nested field, repeated fields, what how you have to do the best practices when to use this one, and I'm gonna do it here. Okay. I wanted to try it out. I'm gonna paste it, guys. Okay. I wanted to try it out later. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? We are not. I mean, I would just say what is a view and all, and how you can access it. But I'm not creating any views. Okay. Views creation is very simple. You can create view and just mention the query inside it. Right. Yeah. Accessing it also very easy. Like it's like a table, right? View is nothing but a table, but it's a virtual table. Yeah. Okay. Any questions, guys? Okay. Sorry. That's what I have told you. This is a one of the technique, and partitions and clustering is also one more technique. Those are the optimization techniques only. No, guys. So those are transformation steps. So those are mainly if you are aware of SQL, right? Those comes under SQL only. So it's not like a BigQuery has this regex. Every SQL has its own flavor of regex. So it's like you can use it properly. If according to your logic, according to that, you can actually use the regex or whatever it is. But I'm not covering it here. The main agenda we are going to cover is that how you can use BigQuery efficiently. I want to say how do you store it? How do you load it? How do you collect it? How do you analyze it? How do you optimize it? Okay. Transformations, group by, order by. Sir, I wanted to concat it. I wanted to do this thing. So it's all normal concepts. Regex, these are normal concepts. These are like, transforming the data. Okay. So those kind of questions we are not covering because those are the basic SQL flavors. Yeah. Okay, guys, this is it for today. We will see tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all.